For the past 30 years, China has experienced mass urbanization as people move to the cities looking for jobs.
因为我儿子的成绩好，我觉得比较内疚。
为什么内疚？
因为我觉得，有点拖累他们。
Unfortunately, under the present system, Li Kuai is right. He would be a burden, as they wouldn't be able to afford his education and would likely have to pay extra for housing. Currently, in China, there are 61 million children left behind. That is approximately the population of Italy. Being abandoned makes the children feel like a burden. In addition, the parents themselves believe that they are being inadequate. Around 80% said so in the latest survey. The 35.8 million migrant children that do make it to the cities still face barriers to education due to the lack of the hukou. Since they're not allowed to attend public schools, private schools spring up to meet the demand, or at least attempt to. In 2004, only 20% of the 300 schools for migrant children were legal in Beijing. Since then, the government has increased efforts to demolish such schools on the grounds that they don't meet sanitation standards, lack the license, or don't follow environmental protocols.
A lot of kindergartens and primary schools have been shut down, says Principal Li Yang, so those kids have nowhere to go.
There have been government initiatives to reform the hukou system. The documents required to apply and requirements are so stringent that 97% of migrant workers couldn't even apply. Therefore, the solutions proposed will be working within the hukou regime and won't attempt to reform it. The first part of the solution is for the government to provide legal clinics and counseling for these migrant schools who want to get legalized, as most do, but are unsure how to navigate these gray areas of the law. The incentive for the government is that they don't need to invest in infrastructure. They legalize a few schools which are still left standing, and the shortage remains to discourage additional urbanization for migrant workers. However, wages permitted, the migrant children have access to all the mandatory 9 years of education within the city and their parents. They can only take the entrance exam to university where they officially reside, as the Gaokao varies between provinces, providing migrant children the opportunity to study the provincial curriculum whilst living with their parents will decrease high school dropout rates, as they can actually aim for university. To tackle this, the government will be assigning social workers to each school to check on the left-behind children in those classrooms and their living standards by conducting visits to their homes and being a personal point of contact for them. The second step is providing education for the elderly. It is estimated that half of the left-behind children are raised by their grandparents who often cannot help with homework or due to large generational gap cannot offer emotional support. As an incentive to attend these classes, meals would be provided for the families. The step is to establish frequent contact between the parents and the children by providing free communal cell phone services in each school. China's urbanization is beginning to slow down. However, the education and protection of these children cannot be ignored. Pressing issue which could compromise the future generations and workforce of the whole nation. Other nations with large rural populations are looking towards China as a way to boost their economy and urbanize their population. However, with an internal registration system like the hukou, they need to keep in mind the devastating costs and consequences urbanization can have